Also, with all of these books, I want to say that if you read them, I'm sorry in advance because they might put you back into a book slump. Hello, my book besties. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Soozi and I am an avid romance reader, and lately, especially this month, I have been in a dark romance kick. But before we get into all of that, I want to say happy Bookmas Day 1. I actually cannot believe I'm doing this. For the longest time, I've been thinking about, like, should I even do Bookmas? It's such a commitment. I am a new booktuber. I think something that was just holding me back from doing Bookmas is just because I am so new to this entire content creating thing. I just started my YouTube channel maybe like a month and a half ago. I am so slow at editing, but I am trying and I'm learning, and I figured what's a better way to try to immerse yourself into a whole new hobby, new skill, than just diving right in, honestly. So that is why I am doing Bookmas, and I just realized I think I should have filmed this yesterday. Today's December 1st, but I'm going to film this and edit it and post it really quick so it can be officially Bookmas. And for my Bookmas Day 1, I thought I would just go over the best books I read in November, because actually, kid you not, I had a really good reading month in November, and I knock on wood because I hope December is just as good to me. So for today, I want to talk about the best books I've read, and tomorrow I want to talk about the worst books. And I actually feel really bad saying because they weren't the worst books ever, but you know, in the whole grand scheme of things, there we go, they were kind of more mid. Here are the best books I read this month. So get your drink, get your snackety snack, get your blanket, and let's get into it. Okay, my first one is The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer. She has become an auto-buy author for me. Anything she writes, I will buy. I'm gonna pre-order the next one in the series, the Vancouver series. I forget what it's called, but it's with the coach and another person. I absolutely ate this one up. I feel like with Stephanie Archer's writing, it's just so bingeable. I kind of consider her in the Elsie Silver type, even though it's totally different kind of like romance genres. But what I mean by that is just that Stephanie's books are so bingeable, literally hooked from the first page all the way to the end. I finished these books in 24 hours. Like, it's that good. I also feel like Stephanie's books are perfect if you are trying to get out of a book slump, or if you need a little palate cleanser because you've been a little bit too much dark romance, aka me. So the reason why I picked this one up, because I love fake dating. Fake dating is my #1 trope. I love, actually, you know what? One of my favorite tropes is the pregnancy trope, and I know like 99% of people do not like that. That's a story for a whole nother day, but I eat fake dating up, and I have to like actually write notes about every book I read because otherwise I will not remember anything. The female main character, Hazel, she's one of the physical therapists on the Vancouver Storm's hockey team, and she unfortunately gets into this really messy breakup, and guess what? Her ex gets like transferred or traded onto the team she's working, and he's like the most diabolical ex-boyfriend, like the worst boyfriend from hell. So to kind of like get him off of her, and because he's still being like a sleazy douchebag, that's where Rory comes in, and he pretends to be dating her. So basically that other guy is like out of the picture. This was like He Fell First all the way back in high school when she was tutoring him. So it was like a second chance romance-ish for him. I feel like there's this thing that Stephanie Archer loves. She loves like lingerie because she always kind of incorporates that in some of her books. In this one and the other one I just read, which I'll talk about later. But I love that he would buy her lingerie and like just send it to her house. Like, or actually, were they living together at one point? I think they were living together at one point because they had to make it like believable. He would send her lingerie and he'd be like, she would wear it, and then there was this like one time her ex sent her lingerie to her house, and she was like, it was like the black, you know, dominatrix strappy kind of ones, and she was like, whoa, this is totally not your vibe, Rory. And he was like, whoa, I did not send that. So then he like got in a little kerfuffle, if that's even a word, with her ex. So anyway, I don't know how I started yapping about that so much. Obviously it left a mark in my head because also, side note, like during Black Friday, I was like, let me order all the lingerie. So I just got a bunch from For Love and Lemons. I also feel like they have amazing chemistry from day one, and it's not insta-lust, it's not cringy. I love her writing, and this is the second one in the series. So the first one is Behind the Net, and I feel like that one kind of had a little rough start, but like every single book after the first one has been absolutely amazing. I also love the writing style in this book. So there's a lot of different sub-conflicts in here, but I love that Stephanie didn't kind of overpower the sub-conflicts over like the main one. So it all just really integrated super nicely. And there's also, for me, I think what I loved about this book is that there was just representation of like body positivity. So for me, actually, like growing up until my early 30s, basically until COVID, I was struggling with an eating disorder like for as long as I can remember. If it wasn't an eating disorder, I was having very negative thoughts about like body image. And I like just reflecting back on this now, I am not ever blaming anyone. Like I'm not blaming anyone I went to school with or like my parents, but I just struggled so much. And I don't want to like trigger anyone, but I also want to share kind of like my story in case it helps anyone out there. It wasn't until COVID I decided to like take the whole problem in the power of my own hands. So what happened was I decided to like, I heard these girls at this one church I used to go to that they would drink something in Korean called hanyak, which is basically an herbal tea, and it comes like in this plastic pouch. And there's different kinds that like, not really treatments, they're not drugs, but they help with like diabetes or like, I don't know, any other conditions or diseases. The one that the girls were raving about was like, there's ones that'll suppress your appetite so much that you'll just lose so much weight. And so right before COVID, I was like so interested, and I hit up this Oriental doctor here in K-Town in Los Angeles, and I tried the tea, and it, you know, it's like Ozempic. If I knew what Ozempic was, it was like basically the Korean Ozempic. I would literally feel like I drank five-hour energies. I was off the wall. I was super focused and concentrating. Like whatever I was doing at work, it kind of felt like I was like on a really like heavy big dose of Adderall, but it would also suppress my appetite. And the crazy thing is, and I don't think I have the meal plans anymore, but he gave me meal plans. You're supposed to drink the tea 3 times a day and like with a meal, but you're supposed to have like apples and tomato, no pork, and literally my breakfast was an apple with peanut butter, and that's it. Like I was supposed to consume less than 1,000 calories with these drinks that were, I'm pretty sure, like super big stimulants. Obviously when I stopped that, I would gain the weight back. But what kind of triggered my eating disorder all over again was in COVID, when, you know, I couldn't see the doctors. You know, I was also like, wow, this is really expensive. It was $400 for a 30-day supply. So I decided, you know, I'm not gonna do it. But that's when all the weight gain back, and on top of all like the pandemic little Panera panty craziness, I just completely lost it, and I gained so much weight back. But with therapy and the support of my now fiance and my family members, like things have just gotten so much better. And that was like my 5-minute segue of talking about my eating disorder. But in this book, I love that Hazel wanted to open like her own yoga studio where it was very body inclusive. So I'm not just talking about size, but people with disabilities as well, or other like preferences. And she promotes like she wants everyone to feel good in their body, and you don't have to like look a certain way. I think that's why I especially love this book so much, because I feel like I was kind of rooting for the characters, but also feel like I was reading my own life story. So I highly recommend this one. I don't think it was triggering enough if you are struggling with eating disorders. And also if you are struggling with an eating disorder, please like feel free to like comment or DM me. I am always here to listen. I wish I could have had the help I had when I was going through it. So oh, I can't forget the tropes. So this one has fake dating, has daddy issues. It is very spicy, as with all of Stephanie Archer's books. It's a childhood friends to lovers where he falls first. And this also has the good girl kink. If you love that, then you'll love this one. And Touch Her and Die. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. One of the best books I've read this entire month. Okay, now let's switch it up to something a little bit dark, actually a lot darker and way more unhinged. Psychotic Obsession by Leigh Rivers. If you guys watched my previous videos, I was reading oh my god, I just got it. Okay, how can I do this? Do I have the mobility for this? Last month, or actually no, it was in October. In October, I read the Edge of Darkness trilogy, and it was so good, you guys. It was a 10-star series for me. This series is amazing. It follows Cade and Stacy, the main characters, but Cade's dad, Tobias, is like also a very prominent character in the whole story. And when I tell you he's unhinged, he's the scariest. I've never been scared of a character when I was reading, like until I read Psychotic Obsession. This is set 20 years prior to the Edge of Darkness trilogy, and this talks about the relationship and like and how Cade's mom and dad met and like their reasoning, because there's a lot of questions that I had about Tobias and Arya in the Edge of Darkness trilogy, but it is all answered here. And he is literally so morally gray. He is like morally black hole. Like if I was just walking down an alley and I saw Tobias, like 20 years ago Tobias, I would literally run the other way because he is so unhinged. He's unmedicated. Hide your kids, hide your wife, because Tobias Mitchell is out there in the world. If you read the Edge of Darkness trilogy, then you know that he ends up being in prison, so that's where he ends up in this book, so which might be a bit of a good thing. His character arc is so amazing. I feel like it's like Jesus Christ. You got before Jesus and after Jesus. Well, like this book is like you get before Tobias goes crazy, and then you go into the Edge of Darkness trilogy where it's like afterwards, and he's such a teddy bear, like the sweetest person ever. I love him so much. I love him. I absolutely ate this one up. This is, I would recommend reading this after the Edge of Darkness trilogy and give yourself some time. Actually, like once you read the first 3 books, like, you know, kind of go read something else and then pick up Psychotic Obsession, because I feel like it'd be too much reading them all back to back. Also, with all of these books, I want to say that if you read them, I'm sorry in advance because they might put you back into a book slump. I know, but I feel like it was 100% worth it. But this was also a 5 star for me. Then I went into the Devil's Backbone trilogy, and this consists of Dear Reader, Watch Your Back, and then the last book in the series is You're Next. Wait, no, I totally have that wrong. It's Dear Reader, then Watch Your Back, and then You're Next. Isn't that what I just said? I have to play this back. I ate this one up. If you love Zodiac Academy, then I think you should definitely read this one, and hear me out. Okay, I know Zodiac Academy is super long. It's not the like most well-written book. Like I think I can confidently say that it is like probably a mid-tier in terms of writing style and editing. It is not Shakespeare at all. But if you're like me and you're reading for vibes and you're just a mood reader, that's where Zodiac Academy just like fulfills that part of your heart, or just like scratches that itch in your brain, because it is absolutely trash panda. And I kind of, okay, I'm not saying that these are Trash Panda books, but they give me like the vibes of Trash Panda. So this is maybe like Red Panda vibes here. But Dear Reader is a dark romance, and it's kind of actually a little bit suspense and like mystery mixed into it. It has a secret society. It's very similar to the Zodiac Academy, where there's like your parents are like in this bigger like fraternity thing where everyone's like, oh, I'm high and mighty. And the reason why I chose it is because it has 2 of my favorite tropes ever. Actually, I just said that fake dating is one. Okay, my 2 other favorite tropes ever, which is why choose? Because what's better than one? Having more than one. And also my other favorite trope, and don't judge me you guys, but stepbrother. I fucking love it. If you've read, it's all the way up there on my shelf, but Penelope Douglas's book Credence, like that was my first stepbrother book, and that kind of just like sparked this whole new, I feel like my neurons and my brains like created new pathways after reading that book. So after that, I have just like been in a stepbrother kink, and yeah, don't judge me, okay? If you're watching this, like that means like we don't judge each other. I actually, you know, the crazier the better, okay? I picked this series up because 2 of my book besties, Megan and Val, were just like raving about this when I first met them. So I was like, okay, well, I trust you. So I am so glad I did, not like I ever doubted it. But it is so addicting and it's so easy to read. And the reason why, okay, I talked about Zodiac Academy, but why am I talking about that? It's very similar, but it's also just short. It's like in 3 books. And you get very similar vibes. It is Why Choose, but it also has a little bit of the Dark Fae spin-off series mixed in with it, because it has reverse harem as well. I finished the first 2 books in one day, like one sitting. It was so good. And the first book, actually all 2 of these, the first 2 books ended on such a crazy cliffhanger. So if you're gonna get these, like get the next book ready. I want to say that these are on Kindle Limited, and these are on Kindle Limited, so make sure you have them downloaded and ready to go, and return your other book that you already have so you can have these. But they're amazing. I feel like Tate James really ramps up the suspense in the book at like such a good pace, like all the way from the beginning all the way to the end. Each chapter ends with like even a little mini cliffhanger that makes you want to immediately go to the next one. And what I love about the Why Choose part of this book is that each of the main male characters, actually there's multiple male and main characters, but they all had their unique personalities. So Ashley's relationship with each one of them was so different. I feel like I was getting a 4-in-1 in this book, so I absolutely ate this one up. With every one of my book reviews, I always end with like a critique for my book, and I said there's really no critique except that I had so many questions. But this series is set in an academic setting. It has bully romance, but it's not too bad. Like it's not as bad as Zodiac Academy. I feel like in the first book the bulliness, like all that stuff just stops in the first book. It has why choose, it has stepbrother romance, and it has enemies to lovers. And I'm just gonna give you guys a spoiler, but for my next video tomorrow, I will talk about why I feel like the last book in this series was not that great, which is gonna be in my like worst books of November pile. Okay, and this last one, I'm so excited, is Leave Me Behind by K.M. Moronova. And the reason I picked this one up is because one of my book talk besties, Sid on TikTok, she recommended this book, and I was just like, you know, you always have that friend or someone you follow online where you're like, if they love a book, like I'm instantly gonna buy them. And you guys, actually one of my goals for this year is to not buy books, like physical books, until I know I absolutely love a certain book, like I read it on Kindle Unlimited or checked it out from the library, or if it's a book that I love from an author and I'm like guaranteed buy, aka Stephanie Archer. And number 3, if my bestie absolutely recommends it. So I picked this one up blind, and I am so glad I did. This was so good. Leave Me Behind is a dark military romance. It is enemies to lovers, but let me say it's a true enemies to lovers. And when I say true, it's not like, oh, hee hee haha, I hate you, I want you to like, no, this is like they both were after each other and wanted to like strangle each other. It was, if there's an enemies to lover spectrum, they're on the like, you're already 6 feet underground. Like that's how bad it was, but in such a good way. There's forced proximity, which is one of my other favorite tropes. It also has a little bit of a bully romance, especially in the first part of the book, but I felt like it was not so okay, what I will say, bully romance is not one of my favorites because I'm just like, I don't know, maybe because I am a Cancer rising and I'm just like, I need everyone to be like so sweet and like hold me and like and wholesome or something like that. The bully romance in this book was kind of more like more teasing in a way. And I don't know what that says about me, because when they were bullying each other, he was like literally carving, like about to cut off her boob. So anyway, it also has dual POV. So this is about the female main character. Her nickname in the military is Bunny, and her like actual real name is Nell. And the male main character, his military name is Bones, but his real name is Bradshaw. And he is a twin. And I don't want to spoil, I'm not going to spoil it, but I'll just say, you know, I said I liked the stepbrother, but did I also say twin brothers, because that is in this book as well. I've also never read a military dark romance, and I feel like I am now forever changed because this was so good. And as I was reading this book, I was kind of imagining Mission Impossible in my head, and the Mission Impossible, the one with Tom Cruise, like especially in this the recent movie, but like just the plane, like going in the plane and like going through missions, and also like testing out, like going in through trial missions, like before the actual big one. And basically what Bunny and Bones are in, they're in something called the Dark Forces, which is the group of military people, is that like the right term, where they go on like the most like forbidden, like most dangerous missions, and ones where people usually don't make it out alive. I was absolutely hooked within the first chapter, and you can already guess, like the stakes were so high that it had me on the edge of my seat throughout the whole book. And it is one that I finished absolutely so fast. Like it is one of those books I stayed up until 1 a.m. reading. But I will say, like usually in books where I read, it's like one person is morally gray, like Tobias Mitchell, but in this book both of them are like so morally gray. They are so toxic, but they're so toxically good for each other, and I love them. It was so good that I saw that at Barnes & Noble that the newest release by K.M. Moronova came out, Your Knife in My Heart, and I'm doing a buddy read of this book with Val, and I'm so excited because after reading Leave Me Behind, I was like, okay, I add her to my auto-buy author list. Wow. I can't believe I just went through all my favorite books. I feel like I missed them already, and I kind of want to just like read them again. We've made it to the end, you guys. I'm actually like sad because I feel like after talking about my favorite books, I kind of just feel like, dang, like I wish I could read these again. I know I could. I don't know. I'm just not a rereader. I miss these characters so much. I hope you guys love them as much as I do. Please go out and pick these books up, and also comment back once you've read them and let me know what your thoughts. But thanks for being here for my first. I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Bye!